Hi everyone, it's Paige. I am coming at you on March 15th, 2020, and it's a Sunday. I don't typically record or even record podcasts or even work on Sundays, but given the fact that we are in the midst of a pretty severe, scary time, I thought that it wouldn't be right to not check in with you guys. In other words, you guys are important to me. You're like family to me. And I thought that I would try my best to use my platform for good. And I'm coming at you today, not as a dietitian, not even speaking at all from an expert perspective, but really just trying to talk to you person to person, human to human, parent to parent, community member to community member. We need each other. Um, we really, really need each other. And I wanted to share a couple thoughts that I've been having, and hopefully some of this is helpful. I plan to add some links in the show notes if you'd like to have some access to other resources that I have found helpful or other ideas that I'll share in the podcast. Um, okay, so with that, let's get into it. I want to share some mindset ideas I have and also some practical ideas I have. I also want to say I have kids in the background because this is my new normal. I will be working from home. I will be seeing all of my clients virtually and will have to also be homeschooling my kids. So, part of what I'd like to share in this episode is how I plan to navigate that and what my early ideas are about that. And depending on how this goes for people, if this feels helpful and supportive, I am more than happy to put out kind of part twos, part threes, part fours as we move further and further into this situation. We are all, globally thinking about this virus and thinking about what this means for us individually and collectively. And we're thinking about um, friends and loved ones we know who might be in quarantine. We're thinking about Italy. We're thinking about China. We're thinking about South Korea. We're thinking about all the places where this is getting scary. And so I know that this is on our minds. It felt kind of weird to put out a regular episode. Um, I plan to actually continue to putting out episodes, to be putting out episodes. At least at this point, I am thinking that I will continue my regular output of episodes, but I kind of reserve the right to change my mind about that just in case that starts to not feel appropriate or helpful or supportive. So, with that all being said, here I am just as a human, just kind of coming to you as another human with some thoughts. And I'm open to changing my mind. I'm open to being wrong. I'm open to having blind spots in putting something out there so early in a situation. So there's the littles. Um, by the way, I'm not going to edit this episode. I'm just going to put it out there. And I hope that something in here feels supportive and helpful to someone listening. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about mindset. I have to be really upfront and open that I have been really anxious. My mind has definitely not been the world's most fun place to exist right now. Um, so as I share some mindset ideas, I want you to just know right up front, like this isn't trying to say that I have it all figured out or I'm in a totally positive, helpful headspace. I do want you to know that like this is really hard and scary for me and in so many ways. And I can't help but think of the most vulnerable in our population, the immune compromised, the elderly, the poor who are having to be out there exposed to this, and how unfair that feels that I get to work from home while my friends and neighbors may not be able to have that privilege. Like that feels wrong, and that is scary to me, and that definitely is hard for me, and as I'm sure it's hard for you. So, so here are some things that I've been thinking about mindset wise that may or may not be helpful, but in context of what we're going through right now, where my head goes is I try to say, okay, I'm feeling this anxiety. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling uncertain. Um, what else have I learned in the past that's been helpful for me in navigating feelings of uncertainty or anxiety? And for me, that skill of what do I already know? What have I already learned? What has already worked well for me? Taking time to think about that and step back and consider what's been helpful for me in the past has been some of what's kind of been helpful for me right now in this current moment. So, some of the things that come to mind when I ask myself that question are thinking about sitting with uncertainty as an opportunity to get better at feeling uncertain. Like the more I worry about the uncertainty, it doesn't make the uncertainty go away. It doesn't really even help. It just um, makes me feel worse. So kind of thinking about it like, okay, could I get better at not knowing, what's going to be in the news tomorrow or what's going to happen next, but really trying to exist in this moment, right here, right now. That's been something that's been kind of interesting to explore. Another thing that I've found really fascinating is taking a step back, looking at how messy this whole experience is. And I'm going to take a minute and talk about some of the positive things that I'm seeing in my own world, but that's definitely not to discount the utter, you know, I don't know what word to use. Just the feelings we're all feelings. It's not to discount that. It's just to kind of try to say that this experience is such a good example of the messiness of real life. It's not all terrible or all positive. It's a little bit of everything, right? So we are all feeling the effects of this pandemic, and there's a lot of emotions and feelings that come with it. And then at the same time, what I'm also seeing is I'm having so much more time to slow down and to be present, and for my kids to just enjoy each other and be forced to play together and to be forced to, figure things out when they're fighting because there's nowhere else to go. um, Lots of family time, lots of slowing down, lots of time to work on things that maybe have gone on the back burner for me, like projects around the house, or my husband makes a year video every year commemorating the fun videos and pictures from the year before, and he was able to finish that and we watched it. We watched the 2019 video together yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. So there's some cool things that are happening. There's, at least, for me personally, I am really newly acquainted with perspective and what matters and what's important and my values. These are things that are on the forefront of my mind right now. And in a small way, I have to pause and see the joy and see the gratitude from the call to tune into that and to slow down and to be aware of what really matters. In a twisted way, I'm grateful for the things in life that bring me that perspective. That's not to say I'm glad this is happening or grateful for the suffering in this world at all, but trying to kind of look at this as it's not 100% one way or another. There are some good things there, and the good things don't mean that there isn't bad. This is to me a call to see the gray and the colors and the rainbow of experiences in this time that we're going through. And I have found it kind of helpful to just kind of be reminded that there is so much to experience right now, and some of it is kind of good, and that's okay too. So the other thing that comes to me mindset wise is some of the things that I've been working on personally are recognizing the impermanence of reality and also the interdependence of reality. So for me, this is incredibly poignant right now in this moment. Uh, the impermanence reminder is both incredibly liberating because the feelings we're feeling right now, we won't feel always, you know? Um, and it's both incredibly liberating, but also incredibly scary, right? The impermanence of reality means that the way things are right now won't be the way things are, a day from now, or a week from now, or a month from now, or a year from now. But that's also one of the most beautiful reminders to step into the present and to experience the small moments of joy and connectedness and um, goodness that we can feel. So the impermanence right now is both a huge comfort to me, but also an incredible reminder of just how important it is to connect with the people that we love, and I'll get to that later, how I think we can do that. But also this interdependence concept that I've been pondering a lot in my world, the last few years, is also really important right now in this moment. What we do affects everybody else around us and vice versa. And in the individualist culture of the United States and many Western countries, it's important to be reminded that a lot of that is really an illusion. Like we belong to each other. We're in this together. We need each other. Um, and we need to remember how much our actions affect each other. And that's true in this pandemic on such a real level, but also it's true on so many other levels. And so mindset wise, I find that when I feel a lot of feelings that are scary or that are overwhelming, contemplating some of that stuff can kind of bring perspective. Okay, so now I'll switch gears and I'll share with you some of the practical ideas I have. Um, so, as I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast episode, I am going to be working completely from home for the foreseeable future. My kids are off of school for a minimum of 2 weeks. I suspect it will be longer than that. And so I am homeschooling my kids and also working from home. So, how is that going to go? I have absolutely no idea. But I thought that I would share my plan as of now and talk about how I'm thinking about it and some ideas I have. And then also, if you'd like, I can also update you as I learn more and as I figure some things out. Um, Also, side note, this is a really good example of, you know, having a goal and having a plan, but also holding on to that kind of loosely so that I can skillfully navigate the situation I'm in. So I'm going to practice some flexibility. I'm going to practice some kind of curiosity and experimentation. And I'm really going to try to work on not being judgmental with myself as all of this unfolds. I am just going to try to have an attitude of curiosity and playfulness in how I run my business right now, and in how I parent, and in how I deal with the situation. So there's also a mindset aspect to this practical side of what I'm going to share that I'm also kind of toying around with, and kind of going to be noticing and be tuning into. So I'm going to be homeschooling my girls. Now, I have to just say, I'll tell you right up front, they are kindergarten and second grade age. So they're really smart girls. I am not worried about them from an academic perspective. I'm not going to homeschool with the intention of really it being an academic endeavor, but more so knowing how important it is for us to have structure in our lives right now, and some routine and some normalcy and some play and some excitement and some learning and growth. I think that to me is really, really important in navigating this as a family. So I'm thinking about homeschooling from the perspective of normalcy and growth and playfulness and fun, more so than I'm thinking about it from an academic place. So here's kind of the basic structure of what I'm doing. I'm going to start our routine at 8:30 in the morning, and I'm going to end it at 2:30. Um, we're going to have, I sat down with my girls and I said, what do you do at school? What are the things you do? And I made a big long list. So there was grammar, there was writing, there was reading, there was math, there was PE, there was mindfulness. My girls do mindfulness at school. How cool is that? Um, and then I asked them, what else do you enjoy doing? Like what else can we learn together? And they had some ideas like they've always wanted to learn how to sew. Now, I don't really know how to sew, but I kind of know. So I was like, okay, we can do that once a week. Um, they also had the idea, we had the idea to listen to an audiobook together every day after lunch. My girls really enjoy audiobooks, which I feel lucky about. So I'm gonna have them listen to Little Women for an hour every day after lunch, and that's gonna be kind of like quiet time where they listen. And by the end, I'm gonna have them write a little report. Now, my kindergartner, it'll probably be a sentence. My second grader, it'll probably be a paragraph. But again, these are kind of ways to keep them busy, ways to explore a classic together as a family, have fun, and also a way to kind of have some structure. So every morning at 8:30, I'm planning on having them read for a half hour. At 9, I'm planning on alternating between math and science. At 10, I'm planning on doing something different kind of each day of the week. I think Monday I'm going to do mindfulness. Tuesday, I'm going to have them watch an educational show and have them write a report about it. Wednesday, I'm going to have a music lesson. Thursday, we're going to do a history lesson. Friday, it's going to be free choice, those kinds of things. And then the hour, let's see, I'm like doing this all from memory because I have my actual routine up on our little whiteboard in the other room. But, it, you know, there's going to be a chunk of, I think maybe it's writing or I'm not sure what I'm doing from like 11 to 12. But then lunch, oh, I have them doing like a little recess where I'm going to send them outside and they have to go play and they have to entertain themselves. And then the hour before lunch, we're going to do something specific each day. And then I'm having them do like a half hour to an hour lunch and then a half hour um, recess again. And they're going to kind of be self-directed with this. A lot of this is stuff that they're going to have to do while I am in session with clients, hopefully still bringing in an income. And then the hour after lunch is an audiobook. And then I think I have it like another hour of something else and then a half hour of something else. Anyway, this is not a great explanation as I'm doing this over the phone or over a podcast, but what I'll do is I'll take a picture of the initial plan I have. I will post it in the show notes if that feels interesting or helpful to you. Feel free to adapt it for your family and your needs. But I'll share kind of our gentle structure idea of what we're doing. And the other thing that I'm really excited to share is if you're listening and you're not a parent, please keep listening because I think you can help and be a part of this too. But fellow parents, here's my idea. Some of the most vulnerable among us are our parents, the grandparents of our children. And so I had an idea of a way to kind of connect, keep us all connected, keep us all occupied mentally, but also respect the social distancing um, goal that we have as a society. So my idea is for these lessons that I have planned, like arts and crafts and history and nature or mindfulness or math or reading or whatever it is, my idea is to involve people in our world who might need something to occupy their minds and might need a little sense of purpose, a little sense of connectedness right now. So, could you enlist the help of your parent or your neighbor? Or if you're listening and you're not a parent, but you know someone's trying to work from home and they have kids at home who are out of school, could you offer to help FaceTime in and teach a lesson about history once a week, or a lesson about mindfulness, or a lesson about math? Um, can we involve people in our worlds in helping us homeschool our kids right now? I pitched the idea to my mom. My mom's going to teach my kids music once a week. Um, I am going to enlist the help of my stepmom with arts and crafts. She's a fabulous, crafty lady. My dad might be interested in teaching um, some sort of other lesson. I think history might be a really fun thing for my mom to share, as a grandparent with my kids. I just thought that this could be a really cool way to keep us connected, keep us busy, help kids and grandparents be connected in a time where we really need that, but also respecting the distance, so we could Zoom, we could FaceTime, we could Skype in different teachers to help us fill in the gaps of where we really truly do need help, and where um, those in our lives who might need a little thing to keep them occupied could really help. So that was one of my practical ideas for navigating homeschooling and working from home. Involve our community members, our neighbors, our grandparents, our whoever it is, but do it via, virtual conferencing. And then we get all these other added benefits of being together and having connection, but also respecting distance in this time. So that was a practical idea I had. Now, for you listening as a listener, for you as a human, here's my practical advice. And here's exactly how I'm thinking about it for myself. Um, we need to eat, we need to sleep, we need to move, we need the sun, we need rest, we need hydration. Don't let basic self care go out the window as you're navigating lots of feelings and emotions and things going on in your world. If you're feeling off, if you're feeling anxious, like, put down your phone. You have permission to stop reading the news for a little bit. Um, do things that make you feel good. As much as possible, try to stay in your regular routine. So, for instance, I love doing yoga, and I have really enjoyed the last 6 months or so. I've been going to an actual physical yoga studio, and it has been so amazing for me on so many levels to practice yoga consistently. I'm super bummed that I won't be going for a while. So I've committed to myself that I'm going to do yoga twice or three times a week, um, as a means of staying connected to what really makes me feel good. I'm going to try to keep my regular exercise and movement going as much as possible. We're super lucky here in Salt Lake City. We're seeing some sunshine right now, and I just spent a significant amount of time outside on a blanket on the lawn at reading a book, and those are the things that make me feel really good. And I'm giving myself lots of permission to do that. Um, I need to eat food. Many of you might feel kind of weird about being at home all the time and having lots of food around, or even dealing with the sense of scarcity as you've gone to your grocery store and seen empty shelves. Like, if you feel panic about that, any one of those things, I just want you to know, like, that's totally valid. I see you. It is scary. It is um, really, really intense what we're going through. So whatever you're feeling, validate it, support it, make space for it, open up to it. Like, it's okay. We are going to get through this. We are in this together. I wholeheartedly believe that. In the meantime, as you're dealing with this uncertainty, try to embrace the moments of joy. Continue to feed yourself, continue to rest your body and move your body, and allow yourself to experience joy and pleasure and goodness. And I'm here for you. Like, I know that might sound weird, but like, truly, um, like, I am. This is hard. This is a lot. And I truly hope that we look back and we say, gosh, I'm so glad we did what we did, and we socially distanced, and it really flattened the curve, and it made it so that we didn't have hordes and hordes of people utilizing the medical system and the limited amounts of ventilators at once. I hope that we look back at this moment and realize that we did the right things. And I hope that we, as individuals and families and communities, can support each other virtually if possible. Even if you want to take this idea and extend it out into arenas outside of kids and school, like maybe it makes sense to have virtual homework dates. If you're a college student, maybe you call your best friend or your mom and you like do homework with them, or over the phone or over FaceTime. We need each other, and I think it's wise to continue to support each other in whatever means we have right now. And as we're navigating this, I will continue to update the show notes here. I might even record a couple extra podcasts if people find this helpful. In the meantime, I will post a couple podcasts that I have listened to that I have found helpful in getting good, solid information about this situation we're in, and I will continue to check in. If you want to follow along with me, I think I might get back on Instagram. I was off of Instagram for a few days, but I think the benefits of being there and trying to be helpful outweigh the stress, and so I'll be back on there, and I'll be sharing maybe some behind the scenes how all of this is going with working from home and school from home, just in case that feels helpful for anybody. So in the meantime, take care of yourself. I am thinking of you. I am really truly hoping that we can get through this in the best way possible. We're in this together, and I'll check in again soon. Thanks so much.